Hello, everybody. Live here with Karen Ann, aka Angie. We're going to be talking today about aligning with your soul's purpose. And that was that spirit coming through your phone?
Probably.
Yeah. Did you hear that little blink? Hi, Karen. Karen just joined us.
Hi, Karen.
Thanks for waiting for us to get signed on. We were yakking and we did not realize how late it was. Imagine that, us yakking. So we're here today. Oh, hi. Should we say hi?
Hi.
Yeah. I love this. I love that we can interact, right?
I do too.
So this is Angie.
Hi.
Oh, that was my elbow.
I'll feel you.
Karen Ann. And Karen Ann has Eternal Grace Retreat, is the name of her business.
Yeah.
And one day that will be a physical business
as
well, right?
Retreat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and Susan just joined us.
Hi, Susan.
Veronica Floyd.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi, honey.
Yeah. So, Veronica, you obviously know Karen Ann.
Yeah.
Susan, Karen Ann, also Angie. And as I was saying that, I'm glad, yes, you're welcome for the invitation. I'm so glad to have you on. You've been very active with Daughters of Change, so I knew you'd like this one. And Karen Ann is definitely a daughter of change. I like to call her Angie.
Yes,
because then I can sing the whole Facebook song to her, the Facebook song, the Rolling Stones song. Look at Karen's name is Karen Ann as well.
It's so perfect. Karen Ann meets the Karen Ann. And I go by Angie, but you can call me either.
Okay. I just somehow Angie just fits.
It just resonates.
Yeah. So Angie actually does a lot of really cool things, but her mission is that she aligns people with their soul's purpose. And I think that's just so beautiful. So, when we talk about Daughters of Change are women that are out there making change, each in their own unique way. And this is the way that Angie makes change and helps people. So I'm going to turn over to Angie and let her talk a little bit about herself and maybe give an introduction, and then we'll get into some questions. And also, if all of you have questions, type them for us, and I will do my best to be able to see them without my reading glasses on. And if for some reason you have a question and we don't see it and we don't answer it, which we will make every effort to do while we're live, go ahead and put it in if it's in the feed, we'll go back and see it, and I'll make sure that Angie sees it, so we'll get an answer to you one way or the other.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Cool? All right, so let her rip, Angie.
All right. Well, such pressure. Yeah. Okay. I forget who I am. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
So
awkward
pause. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. And I've had these gifts my entire life, and by gifts I mean I'm clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. I am a divine channel, and I work with people to help kind of align them to their soul's purpose, which is amazing work, and I love it. And I moved to New England on a message through Spirit to, hey, you're going to move to New England. And 9 years ago we moved to New Hampshire. My husband, God help him, came with us, said, I'll do it with you. So here we are. And then about 2 years ago, I got a message, move to Maine. Okay.
I like that message. That's a good message.
Yeah, just moved to Maine, to the coast, and we began to get, even my husband's getting messages about this retreat, and it is a very exciting time for us. We are here now. We just moved here in September. And just building the community and getting to know everyone and meeting wonderful people, wonderful exchanges. And it's been a blessing and scary and exciting and magical. So I'm very blessed and thankful for this opportunity.
So Karen, are you comfortable talking about what sort of brought you to this from your previous life? And then, we can get into maybe talking more about what you do. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Karen Ann had a very interesting journey from where she started to where she is today. You share what you're comfortable sharing.
I was in an office with, in the medical field, we'll say that. And I was there for 11 and a half years, where I was sexually harassed by one of the physicians for most of my time there. And at one point, I'd filed, numerous complaints with the CEO, we'll call him, and but ultimately, he would just give me advice how to avoid this doctor. Nothing was really being handled about it. And after, I don't know, 6-7 years of it, I was kind of a slave to the paycheck.
Yeah,
I believed I had convinced myself I wouldn't make money anywhere else that I'm making here, and what do I know? And I just really talked myself down into thinking I had to endure this. And finally, I went to the quorum of docs. I had had enough. It was getting completely. And when drug reps are coming in, think I'm his wife because of the way he speaks to me. It's time to, like, all right, somebody needs to intervene. And soon after that, retaliation began. And 2 years of complete duress, I finally ultimately left there. And I was broken.
Yeah.
I'm a strong woman. I was broken.
Yeah.
I completely felt defeated.
Yeah.
I had given so much time and effort and
you had a big job. I mean, you were a supervisor.
I had 3 offices, 19 women. I made half the income to our family. We had children and a house and payments. And, I used to joke and say I sold my soul to the devil. And, of course, I don't believe in that now.
Right.
But then that's how it felt.
Yeah.
It literally felt like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the journey began because the very next day after I had left, I was really distraught because I had no job. And, you go into panic mode. What's going to happen? And I just sort of broke down and cried and just said, help.
Yeah.
Just help me.
Yeah.
I've never asked for it before.
Yeah.
Never, ever. And so I pulled myself together because that's what we did. We pulled ourselves together and drove my son to school. And on my drive there, I was trying to convince myself just to have faith. I kept repeating it. Have faith, have faith, have faith, have faith. And without any hesitation, this voice came through me and just said, live in faith, child. Live in faith.
Nice message.
And I honestly did not understand what that even meant.
But it sounded good.
It did. It gave me immediate peace. I mean, I felt what it meant.
Yeah.
But to ask me right then and there, what do you think living in faith meant, I wouldn't have been able to define that at all.
At that point.
No way. I was just trying to convince myself that there was such a thing.
Right.
And that was when I realized, wow, that was intense and divine, and God kept showing up after that.
That's so cool.
Intervention was unbelievable at that point. I mean, just people would come to me and literally say, God sent me. What's happening? Yeah. And it became over and over. And then when we finally, a year later, made the transition to New England, which was I left all my family, I left my friends, and we moved to a state we know nothing about, but I need to be there.
Yeah.
And, a couple dimes in the pocket, we weren't really prepared for that kind of thing.
But you did it. You had the faith.
We had the faith. Still didn't know what that meant and lost it throughout the journey for 10 years.
Yeah.
But that's when it really started to flood. And it's been a 10-year journey. The last 5 have been unbelievable. I have grown lifetimes in 5 years.
It opened the door. So I just want to stop for 1 second, and we have a few more people join us, and we actually have a question and a comment. So Karen, who's also a Karen Ann, said she also got the move to Maine message in 2004.
Wonderful.
So something else the two of you have in common.
Yeah.
We've also had Arabella join us. Hi, Arabella.
Hi, Arabella.
And Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi, Leah. I love you.
Yeah, and Susan has a question. She wants to know, do you meditate?
I do.
And do you receive message via that channel?
I used to. When I meditate now, it's very different. When I began meditating several years ago, it was a lot of journeys, and I did a lot of healing and meditation with angelic energy. I physically felt it. And now when I meditate, I don't journey at all. I am still.
Clearing your channel?
I'm just very quiet and involved in the self of the self.
That's really nice. That's nice.
It's the space. It's the void. It's the silence. It's the stillness. It's beautiful. And so it's super different for me now. But meditation, so many people get hung up on meditation. They think it has to be a certain way. It could go for a walk in the woods and just observe everything. Taste the forest. Taste the city streets if you walk down through the city. Yeah. Observe what's around and just be still on that. That's meditation. Prayer is meditation.
Yeah.
Sitting still with a friend, not even speaking, meditation.
I've never been able to just not speak.
You don't sit still.
I can meditate, but no.
I'm well aware how you will. But it's an amazing outlet, and it's taking yourself out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself if you're trying to figure out how to meditate. It really takes practice, but it doesn't have to be hard. And it can be as simple as you want it to be. It could be 5 minutes every day being in gratitude.
Yeah.
Meditation.
Yeah.
But I did journey, and I saw amazing things when I did. And, you know, I would feel it physically. You know, I'm laying there going, oh my gosh, I'm in meditation. I feel this happening to my physical being.
Yeah, you can feel the, and I don't know if this happens. Oh, and also Jane joined us. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
And I don't know if anybody else on here meditates, but for me, I feel like the energy, like the electricity almost starting to flow through my hands and then through my body. Yeah.
Now when I channel, after 5 years of what I call lovingly, Spirit Boot Camp. And I will assure you, it was a boot camp.
Yeah.
I mean, I frequently was getting my butt kicked, and I'm the one doing it, so I own it. But I channel now, and some people go into trance. I don't. I'll just slowly calm and quiet myself, and the channel will come through. I allow awareness to work through me.
So how did you go from? So you heard the message to come to New England, and then from New Hampshire to Maine. Yeah. And you said that you've always had these gifts.
I've always had
you've been aware you've had the gifts.
I had clairvoyance as a child. I saw premonitions that came true.
So you always had this. However, where did that sort of leap come? And maybe it was a gradual, not a leap, but where did you go from you know where you were when you moved here, you know where your background was, to what you're doing now, which and maybe we should sort of talk about what you're doing now, and then actually what was that bridge that got you from point A to point B? So
what I do now is I'm actually getting an office at Pineland Farms in June.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very cool. That's going to be my retreat prior to the retreat, because there's all kinds of walking paths there, and I have a conference room for classes if I want to rent. There's homes for out-of-state people to come stay.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, there's a farm there. It's beautiful. And I know it has a history, so I need to just be mindful of the love that I spread throughout that facility and everything. But
change the energy.
So coming in June, I'll have an actual office there. But how I came to do all this is it just slowly evolved. You know, it just began, and I began to get messages, this is what you're going to do, and it resonated, and I knew, yes. And how did I get here? Very carefully.
Yeah.
So what I do, I'm intuitive mentor, which most often people come to me for readings. Right now, I'm currently, to get to know people in the community, I'm doing readings out of both my home and with people via video or phone, or they come to my space personally, or out of Leaf and Lizards in both Portland and in Freeport. And I did that because I wanted the opportunity to meet people in the area and get to know the area and like-minded and connect with lots of people. And that's how we met.
Yeah, exactly.
I did a reading.
Yeah, and I just had this really kind of this interesting, it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had just this overwhelming day, and I thought, I wonder who's at Leaving Lizards. And you know, it's like 4 o'clock. Usually the readings end at 5. So I'm looking through, and I kept coming back to Karen Ann's picture, and I'm like, I like her. So I said, I'm going to call, and if they have something open, I'm going in. Yeah. And I called, and interestingly enough, Annji, I'm going back and forth between Karen and Annji. Annji had been booked all day, but she happened to have an opening.
The last one open.
And they're like, can you get here in 10 minutes? And I was like, yeah. And it's just, And so we just hit it off.
As soon as she came to the door, I was like,
Yeah.
And then we exchanged phone numbers, and then I was like, when's it too soon to text?
Yeah. The next day we were dating.
Yeah, we were dating like almost immediately. But so that's what I do now, and I work with them, and it's super exciting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I am so inspired by those that come to me, and I feel everything. I feel it all. Yeah. And the channels that come through are just unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. And Karen is saying that I took inspired action, which is absolutely true.
Story.
It's really true.
Which we all have.
Yeah.
We all have this, but so much of us forget to kind of tune into it, or we don't recognize it, we don't trust it.
We don't trust it. I think a lot of people just don't trust it.
Self-distrust.
Yeah. Yeah, or what is that? Or it seems outside of the box, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about aligning people with their soul's purpose. Can you just
what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, for some people that might be very clear. For others, and the way that you do it may be different than for other people. So love to hear more about that.
It really varies from person to person.
Okay.
Our soul has an agenda, and you are here because of it, and it's an amazing thing. And what it really is aligning us into that divinity that we are, and connecting us with the source within, and showing us our true compass has always been with us, and we can really empower ourselves. It's always going to be 100% about self-empowerment. I am not healing you. You are doing it. The minute you decide that you want it, you already are victorious.
Yeah. So get just starting, right?
Yeah. And I then intuitively help you kind of look at some blocks, what's there, what's going on. There could be some past life stuff. I do a lot of past life.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And that was a big one for
Lots
me,
of
right?
past life stuff. I do the Akasha records. I mean, there's just so many tools and modalities that we can work with. And everybody's individualized. It's so different for everyone. And so the first reading is really, if there's something burning you really want to know clarity on, we look at that, and I call in my divine, and we just really help you unfold what might be there.
Yeah.
And more.
So it's an individual. It's really individualized for everybody.
It's really customized and individualized.
Yeah, because everybody has their own path or their own way of perhaps. And we have another question. Love to know what next step I can take to better align with my soul's purpose. So it sounds, Karen, like you are open and already doing some work. Is that correct? Can you tell us a little bit more about sort of the steps you've taken? You don't have to get really personal, but just sort of where you're at in that in that process. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so let us know that. And then Karen Ann.
And I can tune in to people. I mean, I help people across the nation. I can see your picture. I can feel your energy. I can simply hear one question and tune into you.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's about vibration. Everything is vibrational. And so a lot of times people come and they speak what they feel is their truth. And they speak it because they believe this, but they don't recognize that they've also buried some things that speaks louder within their vibration. And that's what universe is hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then I am able to kind of tune in, like, I know you're saying this, but your vibration that you're putting out into the world that universe is hearing and picking up on is saying something different. It's blocking. A lot of it comes down to you are enough. You are enough. You are worthy. You matter. You are loved. And that is always the first messages that come through.
Yeah.
So to help you align with who your soul is, it's not even a who, it's an awareness of source. And to help you align to that, we start to break down the ideas and barriers that you hold about yourself.
So the beliefs. So when you talk, so sort of two questions. One is when you talk about, oh wait, actually let's back up, because Karen is saying, yes, I've been trying to connect with people. I'm supposed to help via my writing and energy healing. Okay, so what she's asking, what would be the next steps for her to better be able to?
You need to just let go. You're trying too hard. And by that, it becomes a dance with trusting that gut and sort of letting universe do what it needs to do. Yeah. See, most of us don't recognize life as a river. Okay, and it's a flowing river, and it is moving, and how fast it moves and how easily it moves is really dependent on us. Right. But if you want to be the salmon and swim upstream and go against it, that's resistance. Yeah. That's perfectly fine. There's no judgment in that. But at the end of that stream, you're going to find a grizzly, or you're going to just find the end. Let the universe kind of take you. Discomfort is a scary thing for most of us, but honestly, there's contrast and duality in that for a reason. Yeah. It brings us to honor our strength and who we are, and recognize who we are in the sense of what we have here to offer. And we all have amazing things to offer.
Yeah.
And so when we try to control and manipulate and hold on too tight to things, universe just says, you can do that, but you're just taking the hard way around. And letting go and trying too hard is one of the biggest things that we can do for ourselves. And we need practice at it. And believe me, I every day, I have gotten to the point now where I am faithfully saying, I trust the universe with everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need anything. I already have it. Let me share this real quick too, because I tell this to a lot of people. When we are asking universe for things, whether it's in prayer or just our words are prayers, by the way. What you think and say is going out there. That's a prayer. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. The good and the bad, right?
Yes, absolutely. And there's no right or wrong in any of this. I'm gonna break it out. But when we are asking, universe, please give me more strength, you're saying to universe, you don't believe you have strength, and universe only says yes. So universe says, oh, I've got to give you reasons to have strength now, to prove to you have strength. So please send me more patience. No, I don't want to have to give you reasons to show you have patience. How about you change your prayers to thank you for the strength and patience I have, and I look forward to more. And
change your talk.
It's the perspective. It's changing that, and that's a slow motion move sometimes. And if we believe the story we've been telling ourselves or others tell us,
that's a big one. It's a big one, what others tell us, too. I mean, this is also counterintuitive to what we've learned, especially in the West, right? So,
yes, absolutely.
You know, it's really work like a dog. I mean, you watch Shark Tank, which I love Shark Tank. Like, it's like, I work.
You're gonna grind.
Everything's in my garage. I don't sleep. I work 100 million hours a day. My house is, and
there's more. And
that that almost seems what we think we're supposed to do in order to be successful. And I'm not saying that we aren't supposed to work, but it should be inspired.
We have to take action.
Yeah, but it should be inspired,
and it should feel good. It should feel good. Yeah. Resistance is okay because it brings you to recognize what you do want.
Right.
Oh, but what most of us do is we name 1,000 things of what we don't want. And the more you bring focus to one thing of what you don't want, the more universe goes, oh, would you stop it? Okay. You're focused on the clogged pipe, and over here is the flowing well. You know, you got to bring to what you desire. And it's not even want, it's a desire. Wanting is out of whack.
Right.
And that's the ego's way of saying you need. You have everything you need. And this is the barrier that I help people kind of begin to understand. Everything you need is already right here. And it isn't a matter of patience. It's a matter of vibration.
Yeah.
If it's not in alignment with you, it only means that you aren't ready or in alignment for it, because it wants you.
Yeah.
As much as you want it.
Yeah. So it's a law of attraction.
Shifting it totally is a law of attraction. What you give out is what you give in. But if you're going to give out love and confidence and care, please be open to receiving it back.
Yeah. Right. That's another hard one for people, and I think that's hard for women.
Oh, it's
it's hard. It can be hard for men too. But I think we've, especially, maybe not our daughters, et cetera, maybe they're learning a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But, we were brought up kind of to be martyrs,
Absolutely.
Like you take care of everybody else, everybody else comes first, and, and
then you worry about you if you get around to it.
If you get around to it. And I think recently we've started to, maybe in the past 10 years or so, and maybe a little bit before that, start to hear about, take care of yourself. Put your oxygen mask on first, but that's something that you have to relearn, right?
Yeah, it's definitely reprogramming.
And I think Susan has a question. Angie, do you have resources you recommend?
It's interesting because a lot of the resources that I have utilized, even for myself, I've done most of this for myself. I have not gone to an Angie. I wish I had an Angie. I kind of do, but it took 10 years to get here. A lot of times I go a lot into intuition with that, and I would really need to talk to you a little more and kind of give you something that would be more guided towards you, Susan. So, but you can even look at resources like Wayne Dyer. I mean, he spoke beautifully and had lots of wonderful same stuff. There are so many. Abraham Hicks. A lot of people love Abraham Hicks. That is a beautiful channel.
Sonia Choquette.
Yes,
is another one that all have sort of similar messages.
Let me tell you something. The message is always the same, just different microphones.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree. Because
Muji is another one. He's my favorite.
I haven't checked out Muji.
Now Muji is intense. He's
How do we
very
spell
heady.
Muji?
M-O-O-J-I.
I'm going to put Muji in here. You want me to write? I'll type all these in here for you. Hold on.
Muji is taking you
this.
to the level where
M-O-O-J-I.
Yeah.
Abraham Hicks.
Abraham Hicks. Wayne Dyer. And she loves them. Yay, Susan.
And okay, I don't know if I can spell Sonia Chuckhead's last name. C-H-O.
P-A-T, I think it is. No, C-H.
C-H-O. I'm gonna do this like phonetically. Okay, so I may not be spelling that right, but it's really close.
Yeah. What really is important to what I tell the clients I work with, everything I share is for you to discern and resonate to what works for you. Okay. My belief is mine, and yours is yours, and I respect yours. And there may be some things I share that just doesn't resonate, Angie. That's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
That just means either it's not time for it to, or you have something else that will come in the line that will. But all truth is truth. We all have a truth. We all speak our truth. And as long as you believe in it, that invisible force of belief, powerful.
Yeah.
It makes it part of that person's reality. Listen, this is one world with 7 billion worlds living on it. Each of us are living in our own world, and we are multi-dimensional. I mean, I can get as heady as you want on this.
Yeah.
Muji is a little higher level. Some people would be like, "Oh, I didn't understand a word he said." Okay, well, one day you might. We'll go back to him.
Right.
I worked my way up to him.
Yeah. So you kind of, you work.
I worked through Wayne. I listened to him, and I took in what resonated with that, and that all really resonated. And then I went on with Abraham. Was there for a period of time. I've read lots of different books that I was guided to. There's all kinds of stuff on angelic energy. Listen, they exist. They're real.
Yeah.
Use them.
Yeah.
And so there's so much, and I think it's such a custom. It's as unique as our fingerprint, truly.
Yeah.
And we all have these gifts.
So it's what works for you and what. Yeah, and that's true, because I would find over the years, because I was like a closet spiritualist in my 20s. I was reading Shirley MacLaine.
Me too.
And I couldn't talk to anybody. You couldn't talk. Okay, so this was the 80s. I'm wearing chicken, but and then I was like, from there. I learned about Edgar Cayce, and I started reading that, and that was amazing. And then, I just had, but we certainly wouldn't have been speaking as openly about it back then, because I think there were just
it was just a different time, and it was taboo,
and I think that there were other people doing it, but you just didn't know. You didn't find it as easily, and so
But see, now there's an awakening happening. There is a fierce awakening happening,
which is really nice.
And listen, that's why some people are the contrast. That's why some people are really hard to take. And we have teachers in our lives for a reason. Yeah. And how we react and behave and take on that energy is on us. Yeah. And learning how to discern what is mine, what is theirs. Most of us project garbage. Yeah. And what I mean by that, and that's not meant to sound unkind, but most of us are projecting what we hide within. So if somebody's unkind to you and cruel and mean, then all they're doing is giving you a roadmap of what's there for them. It has nothing to do with you. Exactly. I have learned to say, what you think of me, none of my business. Yeah, that's a really good point. And also Leo Buscaglia cassettes, you're saying, Susan, are another one. Years ago, I have not checked that out, but that looks cool. I'll have to try that. And what's interesting too, Susan, is a lot of times I would be guided to a book, and I would set the book and read like a little bit of it, set it down, and leave it for months. And then go back to it. And then it's like a whole nother level of, I get it. Right. So it's just planting like a little seed, and then I just tend to that garden for a little bit and go back. Yeah. Everything's divinely set. If you really want to know the truth, every step of this life that you are creating, but it's the self, the I am, that is creating it. That's creating That's your soul. Yeah. And the alignment is to get you to recognize that you are that. Yeah. And the alignment is letting go of all these ideas and stories we've been taught and told and believe, and just sinking right into the quiet stillness and the peace that's very much there. So it's really nice to know. So for all those years that I was called uninhibited and outlier, I was just being myself. Yeah. I was normal. Absolutely. I've been normal, and I didn't even
knew it. That's right. Damn it. So this, you just said something interesting about, people being the contrast.
Yeah.
So right now, we live in some pretty
very contrasting
times,
lives,
right?
Yes.
And it's funny because before you came over, I was just taking a flip through the news, because I don't put it on in my house anymore. I don't watch it.
It's bad energy. If you're watching the news, cut it back.
Yeah.
It is dumping junk into your own home, your sanctuary. Period.
Yeah. But it was interesting. I started thinking about the contrast, right? It's so. Deb just joined. Hi, Deb Nelson.
Hi, Deb.
This is Angie. Karen Ann. She aligns you with your soul's purpose. And but that contrast that we're seeing now is really, it's a blessing in disguise, because it's telling us
helping us to wake.
It's helping us to realize what we do want.
If we don't see what we don't want, if we just keep going the way we're going, nothing ever changes.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are big changes. So 3 years ago, I actually got a message, and I told this to somebody. I said, "Oh, chaos is coming."
Yeah.
Is it coming? And it gonna get broken all up in here. And it is.
It's all broken up in here.
Up in here. Philly. I gotta bring in the Philly a little bit. But I also got a very strong sense of all will be well.
Yeah.
All will be well. And it will be. But as a collective, we tend to, hive together, and our thoughts working in one can be, both a blessing or not.
Right. Well, exactly. I mean, if you think about it, kind of two things come up through that. One is that we need to live in the solution versus the problem, right?
Yeah.
So we're being shown the contrast. We're being shown things that we don't like.
Now what are we going to do about it?
So now what are we going to do about it?
What positive steps in action?
Instead of beating the problem to death and talking about the problem,
making it bigger.
You make it bigger, right? And so you draw more energy to it, as opposed to saying, okay, let's start talking about the solution. And it's not that I'm saying that's easy and it's going to happen overnight, but without this, there wouldn't be the desire to really create some new world and new things.
In order for many to kind of come out of their shell of this idea, this mask, this avatar that this form is. Yeah. Guess what, everybody? This is your avatar. Yeah. Your soul is running the show.
Right.
But in order for us to kind of break through that veil, we have to begin to experience that contrast, and it has to be enough to get our attention.
Right, exactly.
But it's what we do with that attention that matters.
Yeah.
But now we have this whole nother problem. Those that are waking up forgot how valuable they were, because we've lived so long blind and just shut down that we have no idea how worthy and loved and valuable and enough we are. And so it's my job to help you remember this and bring you back to that. Yeah. And I do it every day. I love it. Yeah. And the more I help you with that, builds mine. It's law of attraction. Yeah. You are the source of that which you desire. Give it, but be open to receiving that back. Yeah. Yeah. That's the key. That's a great message. I would give and 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 give, and then I would say, Creator, why am I not getting this back? That's law of nature. Yeah. And Creator would say, well, you need to be open to receive. Yeah. So we get into this martyr thing. I mean, I could see. It comes down to value and worth. Yeah. I had to feel worthy of even asking. Yeah. Okay, I get it. So there has to be a balance, a give and take. Yeah. Absolutely balance in all things. Too much of a good thing isn't healthy for you. And so you still have to find balance in all things. Diet, all of it. Yeah. And it takes time to kind of recognize, well, where do I need to kind of buffer some things? It's a beautiful journey. It is. I am so thankful to be here. I have been through it. Let me tell you, I have been beat up. I've done enough of my own beating up. Yeah. I get it. I've had depression, anxiety. I've had financial woes. I have had being overweight. I have had marital stuff. It has all been very trying. And I smashed it all in 20 years. Because I'm only 20. And, and Susan's also recommending Kate Northrup and Christine Northrup. Thank you. They're good. Yeah. Thank you. That's really cool. And so something else that you said resonated with me, and now I can't remember what it was. So talking about having the contrast in order to. So if we lived in utopia, We wouldn't
create anything new. We'd just
Listen,
be like,
there has to be duality. You have to have light to see the dark. You have to
Yeah.
have dark to see the light. Everything about is duality.
Yeah.
We're both feminine and
Yeah.
masculine, divine. Everything. Duality isn't
Balance.
the problem. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you right now. The duality is not the problem. You ready for the
I'm
answer
ready.
on this one? This is
I-
life's answer. Here's the problem. I.
Mhm.
Not I am. I.
Ego.
Ego.
Mhm.
This is the issue. And a lot of times women have had to put on a mask of very masculine, guarded, if a woman's successful, she had to believe she had to be a bitch to do that.
Oh.
And listen, not all men are doing this. I'm not saying that at all. I love men. They're wonderful. I'm just saying that this has been the transition and
We've done a lot of it to ourselves.
Yeah, we believed the story. We have degraded each other.
Yeah.
Women against women, that's horrifying.
That is done.
Horrifying.
None of that.
Yeah.
Daughters of change do not do that.
But that has occurred. And
Absolutely.
what has happened is we have lost that nurturing aspect of our feminine side.
Yeah.
Because we have had to compete to be heard and stand up and be that sound voice equally to men.
Yeah.
And so through, ancestors, history, lifetime, it's been proven. And here we are rising up, as some would say, time's up. But it's more than anything coming back with, you need to come back with love and respect.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The past is the past.
That's
Let
right.
that go.
It's gone.
Today, I'm going to be the best I am.
Yeah.
And I am that I am.
Yeah. See, I agree. Anger, when I see anger.
Forgiveness. Just throw the forgiveness around. And it isn't for the person or the scenario. It's
for yourself, right?
Oh, man. It
It's
takes
for
power to
yourself.
forgive. And I'm telling you, it's the biggest release. Release that guilt, release that anger, resentment, all of it. And know that you are worthy and you are enough. We have mothers and wives and sisters and cousins and aunts. Listen, I told my niece and nephew, I am the one that will have gum. I am worthy. I won't have good advice, but I've got gum when you need it.
Yeah.
We need to be loving to ourselves. Self-nurturing is number one.
Yeah.
And that is not selfish. If you are not filling your vessel, do not ask anybody else to, because ego has emptied a lot of our vessels.
Yeah. And we have been, at least, I come from a full-blooded Italian family where the moms are like the consummate moms and,
rise or shine, sick or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm second generation. My mom, my grandparents all came from Italy, and there was a lot of that pressure on the type of mother you should be, and everything, like
everything has to be done just right.
Everything was last for the mom, right? Yeah. So, I was like, I don't think I like that.
I didn't resonate to that.
That's my kids.
That's my family.
That's my piece of bubble gum.
Stop giving the ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true that what happens is that energy is magnetic, and what you don't hold for yourself, you are going to align yourself with many that are the same.
Yes.
And so you end up with a lot of mirror reflection. And then we begin to look at those mirrors and judge the mirror itself like we do every day. If we don't like the way our hair looks, so, we end up becoming judging, and that's ego. And let me tell you something. Ego's not that big a deal. Everybody, I got an ego. I have learned that in order for me to disappear as this egoic idea, I accept that I have an ego, and I've learned that I am the master of it. It is not the master of me. And it used to be.
Very good.
Oh, it used to be.
Yeah.
It ran my life. But now I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it. And I know when it's dipping its little foot and little toe in the pool, and I just say, easy now. Who is this one? Who's this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
So aligning with the soul has a lot to do with personal, what everybody's journey is meant to be. The first thing is all of our souls are here with one thing in mind, and that is to discover their divinity in motion, in the physical form.
Yeah.
And in all matters.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest and most purpose thing about lining with the soul, is understanding that no matter what, you are always in a state of grace.
Which is beautiful. I'm just looking to see if we have, if we have any other questions. I'm just trying to keep an eye on that. So tell me, Karen Ann, do you have like one or two not necessarily tips, but tidbits that you, like if you wanted everybody to know one thing or two things, what would that be? First,
Everybody, you are loved. I mean, you're so precious, you're so important, you matter, you're enough. And to give yourself that power again will be the first step towards finding your peace. It isn't about emotions and happiness. It isn't about, I'm so blissful today. It's about every day living in that state of freedom.
Yeah.
And the tip would be starting with baby steps, if that's what it takes. Meditating, get out of your mind. Know that your emotions are fleeting. You're going to have 1,000 of them. Thoughts are, we're all averaging 35 to 48,000 thoughts. And that averages down to like 35.
Is that a day?
Yeah. Thousands. Are you monitoring every thought you have? Come on, you can't.
Yeah, I know.
What are you paying attention to? I visualize them like clouds. And some come in and they stick, and then I have to look at that a bit. I observe it. I don't get involved in it. That was a message creator said to me for a year. Observe yourself. And 2 months
step
in.
Back, like from the outside
just step back and observe. And 2 months in, I was like, okay, I got it. What else you got for me? Guess what? Observe yourself. I was like, what do you mean? I got that covered. And he was like, that's sweet. Observe yourself. So it became like, what? All right, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know what that meant. What do you mean, like observe myself or her?
Yeah.
And but then I began to understand it. Oh, so when this triggers me and I'm getting all worked up about it, I need to observe what's that about.
Yeah.
And I don't have to engage it. I just have to look at it a little bit and be like, well, that's not anything, and let it go. It's rigging out that sponge to make room for the new energy. It's purging old stuff you've been trucking around in the back trunk, and just saying, I don't need to reinvest in it. I don't need to go back in history and relive it, because that brings it to your now. One of the biggest tips is stay in the moment. Step back and observe the moment. If you're at a family dinner, have you ever done this? You just step back and you watch everybody interact, and you just do it with grace and love. You just admire it. Everybody in that room matters so much to you. You're there. You're part of that. And that's amazing. And it's like time just slows down, and you just are in a very soft state.
Yeah.
So staying in the now, letting go of the past, meditating, going for walks, get outside. Be outside and around. You need fresh air every day.
Yeah.
Grounding is essential. If you don't know how to do that, please message and I will help you ground, because we are always buzzing in chaos, and that is just very draining.
Yeah.
A lot of people are empaths. They don't even know that they're feeling other people's junk.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're conduits. We're drawing all this junk in. They own it. I'm so miserable. I am. Be careful what you put behind I am.
So what do you do with that, Angie? So when you are with somebody like a loved one, somebody you care about, but they're in that really negative space, and you can feel it starting to sap your energy, how do you put a block up? How do you cut that off?
So,
any tips on that?
First thing is to discern, wait a minute, this isn't my stuff. That's block number one. When you stop giving it power, it really doesn't have any power over you. A lot of times there's a visual. You can simply visualize yourself in white light, and only the highest, best energy is allowed in my space. Intention is powerful. When you set an intention for your day, that will run your day. And if you set it with conviction, it will run your day fully. And so when I get up, I just say, nothing comes into my energy that is not my highest best. And I have learned very quickly to discern, what I'm feeling is theirs.
Yeah.
So clearing, there's some methods of clearing you can learn. Crystals are powerful protectors, but a lot of it's mindset and power of intention. A lot of it. Yeah.
And so what if it's somebody that you're trying to,
there's cords that can be cut.
Yes, or
there's
somebody
that
wants, you feel like you want to help them, they're in a bad place. So how do you do that without taking on, what's the best way to address that situation?
Setting an intention of what it is you are looking to achieve.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
Because I think when we get caught up in everybody, we get distracted and we get caught up in their stuff, and then we forget all about ourselves. The number one thing is just be in a state of grace and love. You don't even have to say a word to people. if you hold a presence of love, that's powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you want to help somebody, you've got to kind of still yourself a little bit and wonder and ask, are they open to receiving the help?
Good point.
Listen, most people, a lot of people, I won't say most, but a lot of people get caught up in the drama and the attention seeking, and that becomes addiction. Most are just bound to that addiction to it then. You know, they don't want the drama, but they're addicted to it because it gets attention, and negative attention is attention. So it varies, and there's just, if you work on yourself, my biggest thing, I tell clients all the time, when you heal you, the man in the mirror, you're healing the world. One person waking up is benefiting this world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you can hold yourself in that space, some of these things won't affect
Recognizing
you.
that what they're saying to you has nothing to do with you. Stop taking things personally. And when you do, looking at that, like, why is this making me feel bad?
Right.
What in me is triggered by that?
By that.
And begin to just peel the onion a little bit and know that you are, listen, I'm going to repeat it, you are all worthy, you are all loved, you are all valuable, and you are all enough. And me just sending this to you now, just for you viewing us, I've been sending you love the entire time we're here. I'm flooding it, and it comes to you because energy is just energy.
Exactly. So do you, when you're intuiting, are you reading energy? I know you channel as well.
Yes.
I know that you're channeling as well,
Yes.
but do you also, is it also reading energy? Is it reading vibration? Or maybe that's like trying to define it too much?
It varies, again, but I am definitely, when somebody sits, I like to have them ground real quickly, and we'll do a quick grounding, which we didn't do because it was like last minute, but we'll do grounds. Oh, grounding. But we'll ground.
Okay, now.
One of the things, like working with any intuitive, please do yourself a favor and be clear on what your intention is and what you want to discover in that. You know, and be grounded before you go. Have your questions ready.
Yeah.
Because coming in a state of flux and mania, you know, I can read you no matter what, but it doesn't benefit you if you're, so that's important. But what was your question?
I can't remember it. I think you just gave them exactly what they needed right now, which is what I do when I go in for a reading.
Yeah, you need, so
I tell me what I need to know.
Yeah, so what I do is I calm myself, I quiet, we do a little grounding, and then I tune into your energy or vibration. And I then ask my divine light, which is creator of all that is, and I just begin the process of what do they need to understand today? What is their highest, best good? And then immediately the message starts
to come in.
And sometimes I'll be sharing the message, just talking to you as Angie, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden my mannerisms change, and I'm, okay, channeling, boom, channel change, and I begin channeling. It really depends. Divine does not channel every reading I do. Right. But a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And you can engage divine when I am channeling. They ask, and it's a collective, by the way, that I channel. I don't channel Aunt Gertrude. I've done that. That was part of my spirit boot camp. Not a good thing. I only channel a collective of
Unless she's telling you where the will is.
Yeah. Well, I tried.
The will is in the boot.
I've done that. Just
the one that you brought to Goodwill.
I've actually gone, there's $1 million. Oh, she's left. But when the channel comes through, they will directly speak to you and ask you questions, and then you can carry conversation. But if they don't address you right away, it's just take notes, record it, listen. I cannot repeat it. I am moving myself aside, and I am just providing, they're using my energy.
So you're not necessarily remembering it after.
I am not. I'm aware, I'm present, and I'm in the background making a food list.
And her head doesn't spin around or anything.
No, I have total control. I can come and go. I pop in, oh, it's me. I guess what they're trying to say. You know, I can do that, but if you were to ask me, can you repeat that? No. Yeah. So I do encourage people bring their phone or something to record or write notes. Yeah. Because it goes fast, too. They talk quick. Yeah. Yeah. And if you watch Abraham Hicks, it's a lot like that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's so we're coming up on, okay. Oh, we've been on for 48 minutes. Wow. Wow. So thank you all for staying with us. I think we had said it was going to be a half hour. So before we sign off, I will, after I ask this question, see if Angie has anything she wants to leave you with. But does anybody have any questions for Angie before we
before we wrap it up? Okay, well, while we're waiting for people to think if they might have a question or if they want to ask a question, there's no pressure.
No.
And again, you know, I've also put a link to Angie's page, which is Karen Ann.
Yeah.
It's on the description of this.
Yeah.
It's also on the invite to the event. But so while we're, oh wait, so Karen's asking, how do you control who you channel?
That took work. And that was part
Thank
of
you, Byron.
that was a great question. Thank you, Byron. Love you. That ultimately was learning a lot about what energies I should be allowing to work through me. But process was I had to wring out all this old muck to let in the higher vibration. And so how do I control it? I have a strong intention. I've done a lot of clearing work of my own stuff. I've dumped a lot of stuff, a lot of old fear and all kinds of energy. So I'm drawing in only those higher vibrational energies, and I have learned to know this is who I channel and no one else is. I don't channel anybody else. I know the difference. I can feel the difference.
You can feel it. And so your vibration's up, so you're
Absolutely.
attracting higher vibration.
Yeah. I'm only channeling the high end. And I didn't, in the beginning, I was channeling a lot. And, you know, it was all giving love and all that stuff, but it wasn't all love.
Yeah.
So
tricksters.
there were a couple shapeshifters, but
There were tricksters afoot.
that was part of my experience for the lesson to learn. Listen, you need to, I had to change my diet. Get into exercising. I've had to do a lot of changes, a lot of emotional releasing for me.
Yeah.
I had to change my personal being to channel the divine fully and freely and as easily as I do. I just did a class where I channeled 6 different ascended masters, one after the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Any Lakshmi in there?
Yes, she was there. Yeah, and Ganesh, a lot of people. Jesus, they were all there.
Love it. I love it. So
but that took work. So I just know the energy, and I have a lot of protection, like a lot.
So it takes some practice to maybe feel the difference and know the difference.
And
but
was
it easily recognizable for you? Were you able to
in the beginning
tell?
It was not, but now
okay, but now it is. So I think practice makes perfect.
It does. You need to know who you're working with. And there are a lot of things that would love to pretend to be that which you think you're working with.
Yeah, yeah.
So I learned a very hard lesson a lot.
Yeah.
I've had attachments. I've had ugly stuff.
Yeah.
I learned through trial and error, and I just want to help people not have to go through that.
Same. Okay, so Angie, with that being said, we are getting on the hour. And you are all so wonderful to stay with us.
Thank you for being with us.
Is there anything that you would like to leave the group with, or
just that you're loved? Divine is here, present right now, coming through, sending all of you love, peace, and joy, and to keep going. You're needed, you matter, and we are so blessed to have you all with us today. Thank you.
Wouldn't it be nice if everybody talked to each other that way, right?
You guys really, I truly love each and every one of you, because you're me.
Yeah. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. I'm honored.
This was great. High five on that.
High five,
okay.
baby.
So everybody, thank you. Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening. If you have any other questions, go right ahead.
Please feel free to ask. Yeah,
leave them on the feed. I'll make sure that Angie gets them. I think she's on it anyway. Okay, and her page is up there. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Namaste.